One of the things that we always have to do when we get a new device is check out one of the latest games on it. So I've just quickly thrown this on. It's obviously the starting level of Dead Trigger 2. So you'll see lots of little pop-ups, but the interesting thing here is I've turned it straight onto the highest detail settings, and straight away I can feel that this is faster than the Galaxy S4. There's less frame rate drops when I move around really quickly, and everything just feels very, very smooth. The Galaxy S4 on high could occasionally feel a little glitchy and twitchy in some of the more kind of fast-paced elements, and certainly I'd seen some initial slowdowns, just little stutters was all, in some of the early parts of this level. And so it's quite interesting that the Adreno 330 GPU along with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 800 CPU are obviously very, very fast bits of kit, even to the point where it's making the Snapdragon 600 just feel a little bit on the sluggish side. I mean, we are talking a very small amount, and at no point does it ever kind of impact the gameplay, as it were. You just feel the occasional stutter from the Galaxy S4, which so far at least I've not seen any of that on here. Let's have a quick play of the next level. So here we are inside, and certainly so far absolutely no slowdowns. Everything is just absolutely rocking along. Qualcomm 800 and the Adreno 330 are nice and fast. I've given up using synthetic benchmarks really to test the latest devices after the shenanigans with Samsung cheating on their benchmarks. It really does feel to me like we might as well not bother, and really the best thing you can do is to put on a leading game and see how it performs in your hands. The synthetic benchmarks unfortunately are just a little bit too easy to cheat, but you know, the hardware companies, Samsung, HTC and so on, you know, it's difficult to cheat a new game that's just come out and that they weren't aware of. Where with the synthetic benchmarks, unfortunately quite a lot of companies at different times over the years, you know, and this isn't just in mobile but in 3D graphics cards, CPUs, you name it. You know, there's a little bit too much temptation to optimize your software to trick benchmarks into performing better by effectively, you know, if you see a benchmark is running, clock your CPU and GPU higher temporarily so you get a better score. With a game that's just been released, it's very difficult for the manufacturers to do that with, if you don't, next to impossible in fact. And so, you know, we can actually get a decent sense for how these games are going to run by actually playing them in a real world setting. Now, there was a little bit of a slowdown there. Did you see the frame rate just dip out a tiny bit? And it's sort of similar to what I was seeing on the Galaxy S4 in fact, so it may very well be an issue with the game itself, and just the fill rates are just a little bit too high. Overall, a really nice experience on the Nexus 5 from Google, a really solid bit of gaming.